one of the things that people don't always realize is that when you actually start to engage in deeper types of healing, sometimes your symptoms might actually get worse. Now, it's important to understand this and what's kind of happening in the background, because if you don't know that this is actually happening and the reasons behind it, you might actually misinterpret that and back away from something that is really helpful for your deeper healing and growth. That's what we're talking about in this video. A recent question that came up was, Leslie, I've been disconnected from my body probably my entire life, and I struggle with fatigue for a long time. As I focus and listen in to sensations, they seem particularly intense. And before this work, I would just push through it and I kept going. But now that I'm taking the time to rest and take better care of myself, I seem to be experiencing more fatigue. I know I'm flexing a new muscle, but I can't explain that. So this is a great question and something that often comes up at the beginning. People who have been maybe disconnected from our bodies and just pushing through, the mind can sort of have the story, well, that was at least okay. Now that I'm actually paying attention, it actually feels worse. This really sucks. So the first thing to know is that there's often a transition time. When you've gone from doing something one way and switching it to do the other, there is a little bit of a learning curve even for your body. So the first thing is to recognize that transition and make a mind shift and remember that old way that you were doing it, even though it seemed like it has some benefits, it wasn't sustainable. It probably led to you to the rock bottom or the burnout or the place that it was. So just knowing that true wisdom knows that it's not just how things look on the surface. It's not just pushing through. It's actually the holistic embodiment of it, which we're not getting to when we're just suppressing stuff. And number two is to recognize, and this is a real strength of the subtle body work that we do in our deeper trainings, is that there is something within us called resistance. Now, you're familiar maybe with the average versions of resistance, but we have something within our mind-body system that we like to call the protector system. Now, this is a combination of aspects of the mind and your unconscious, as well as your nervous system, plus a few other things. So the protector system is the part of ourselves that really tries to keep us safe. The problem is it's a little misguided at times in how it does. The way that it normally tries to keep us safe is actually just to suppress things and keep them under wraps. That's why we keep pushing through. So when we're in that transition period, as we start to go deeper, that will actually trigger the protector system. When you're just doing stuff, it's not going to make a difference. It's not getting down into the deep kind of trapped trauma underneath. Your protector system is fine. It's not freaking out. It's out on the beach drinking little umbrella drinks. But when you start to listen, to pay attention, to start to use methods that are actually going to bring up and unearth the deeper things so that they can be brought to the light and healed, watch out. Your protector system is going to raise holy hell. And that can show up in a lot of different ways. Resistance can be anything from increased physical symptoms to actually just what we call fluffy resistance, where you're just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that inner work that I was doing and I just went on to something else and got distracted. This is why, personally, for myself, as a practitioner and a guide, I only do this work with people in really personalized, guided ways, because we need to holistically walk you up and over the mountain of resistance. But the way to get started by yourself is, one, to make that mind shift that this is a good sign. It's not a bad sign. It's actually a deepening sign that you're getting at the border of where the old things are stored. And that is why the symptoms, whether they're physical symptoms or emotional symptoms, can get worse. I once read an article that was clearly just titled to be catchy and clickbait, but the title of it was something like "The Negative Side Effects of Meditation." So, being someone that's quite into meditation, I clicked on this link and I was just a little frustrated that the whole point of this article was saying just this. Sometimes people start doing meditation and they have negative feelings that come up. Guess what? It's not the meditation that created the negative feelings. Those negative feelings and sensations were buried there underneath, sucking out your life force in a closet somewhere because they weren't being turned towards. So the meditation and paying attention and going into deeper work only brings those things to the surface so that they can actually come out. If you've got a closet full of crap, cleaning it out and dragging it out, there's going to be a period of transition. So all of that to say, you're on the right track. Take it as a good sign and get support. Start turning towards and making that resistance. Give it some compassion to your body, knowing that it's actually doing you a favor and it's just freaking out a little bit. It needs your support. You can use a phrase that we use in subtle body training called the safety phrase. And you can just say to your body out loud directly, body, this is a safe place to be, and I choose this. That in itself can start to disarm the parts of ourselves that get a little nervous when we start to change things. I hope you found these things useful. Do you know someone that would also benefit? Please send it along. And if you'd like this message of healing to get out to more people, do a little like and subscribe. It helps spread our message to other people, and I can't do it alone. I am here to really help empath seekers and healers really get to their next level, to that place where you do have deep embodied mastery, where you're not just knowing it in your mind, but actually living it in your body. This is Leslie Hutter reminding you that you are a soul within your body, and your inner world is the way that creates your outer world. You deserve great things. I'll see you next time.